The call came in at exactly 11:45 p.m. Structure fire, Harrison Tower, multiple trapped occupants. Immediate response needed. Firefighter Sam Carter jolted upright in his bunk, the name of the building sending a ripple of unease through him. Harrison Tower, a looming high-rise in the heart of downtown, was known for its troubled past. Fires, accidents, mysterious disappearances, but it had been vacant for years. Sam didn't have time to dwell on it. Within minutes, the crew was suited up and barreling toward the blaze. Even from blocks away, they could see it. The tower stood like a torch against the night sky, flames leaping from the upper floors, thick black smoke curling into the air. Sam gritted his teeth as the fire truck screeched to a halt in front of the building. "Jesus," whispered Jake, his partner, staring up at the inferno. "This place is toast." Dispatch had said there were people trapped inside, but how? Who would even be in there? The building had been abandoned for years, locked up tight, no electricity, no signs of squatters. Then they heard it. Blood-curdling screams, piercing through the roar of the fire, coming from somewhere high above. Sam's chest tightened. "Let's move!" The team rushed in, flames licking at the entrance. As they ascended the emergency stairwell, the screams grew louder, agonized, desperate cries echoing through the smoke-choked corridors. They reached the 14th floor first, where the heat was unbearable. Sam swept his flashlight through the haze, but the floor was empty. Charred furniture, broken walls, but no people. "Help us!" The voice came from further up. Sam exchanged a look with Jake and nodded. They pushed on, climbing higher, sweat dripping down their faces. When they reached the 21st floor, where the screams were the loudest, they found nothing. Rooms stood eerily intact, untouched by flames. In one apartment, a dining table sat neatly arranged, plates, glasses, even a half-eaten meal, left as if someone had just walked away. The contrast between the roaring inferno outside and the stillness inside was suffocating. "This place is supposed to be abandoned," Jake muttered, sweeping his light over the room. "Who the hell sets a table like this?" Then he saw it, hands pressing against the windows. "Over there!" Jake shouted, but by the time Sam turned, they were gone, vanished into the smoke. As they moved deeper, the layout of the building seemed to twist in on itself. Corridors that should have led to stairwells ended in dead ends. Doors that had been kicked open slammed shut behind them. Sam's radio crackled to life with static, then a whisper. "You can't leave." He whipped around, but no one was there. His pulse hammered in his ears. "Captain, we're seeing things up here." Jake's voice trembled through the radio. "Get out, now!" Suddenly, the floor beneath them trembled. A deafening crack split the air, and the ceiling collapsed, separating Sam from the rest of the crew. He hit the ground hard, his ears ringing, the air thick with dust. Disoriented, he pushed himself up, coughing against the smoke, and then he saw them. Figures standing in the hallway, silhouetted against the flames. Their faces were twisted in agony, their hollow eyes locked onto his. One figure, a woman in a tattered nightgown, reached out to him, lips moving silently. Sam scrambled to his feet and stumbled back. "You didn't save us," she whispered. He bolted down the hallway, his only thought to escape, but every corner turned him back toward the fire. No way out! Then, from the smoke, Jake appeared, grabbing his arm. "Come on!" They ran, pushing through the heat, dodging falling debris, and finally bursting onto the fire escape. As they descended, Sam chanced one last look through the shattered windows. The figures were still there, watching, waiting, and one of them looked exactly like him. Hours later, when the fire was finally extinguished, Sam and Jake stood outside the charred ruins, trembling. "You saw them, right?" Jake whispered, his face pale. Sam didn't answer. The fire investigator approached with a grim expression. "The building was supposed to be empty," he said, shaking his head. "No bodies were found." Sam's stomach churned. But the screams, the hands... The investigator frowned. "What are you talking about? There were no survivors reported in the building. There never were." Days passed, but the unease never left. Late at night, Sam would wake to the distant sound of screaming. Whispers crawled through his radio when he was alone in the station. He thought about the faces he saw in the fire, how one of them was his own. Then came the security footage. The department reviewed the footage from the night of the fire. Sam sat with the team, watching as the flames consumed the building. And then they saw it, faces pressed against the glass, hands clawing at the windows. And worst of all, there, clear as day, was Sam, standing in the window on the 21st floor, staring blankly into the camera, while the real Sam was outside on the ground. The room went silent. Jake whispered, That's not possible." Sam couldn't escape the feeling that something had followed him home. In the weeks after, small fires started appearing at the firehouse. Burn marks on walls, strange scorch marks on his uniform. One night, alone in the locker room, the air thickened with the smell of smoke. Sam turned slowly and saw it again, his reflection in the mirror, but this time, it didn't move with him. It just stared and whispered, "You didn't save us." Sam quit the force not long after. Harrison Tower was gone, reduced to rubble, but he knew better. Some fires never really go out. Some screams never really stop. And late at night, when the wind howled outside his apartment, he swore he could still hear them, calling his name.